Evening, everybody. It's 6:40. I know it's a little late, but I had a lot of stuff to catch up with today. Was a very interesting day. As everybody who listens to me knows, that I have been bullish right now for a short-term move back up, and it has just been absolutely, as far as I'm concerned, absolutely perfect from the big day on Monday to the hard down start yesterday that turns back to the upside to today, where prices were higher and then they moved lower on the FOMC and then turned back up, made new highs on the day, and closed up on the day. All that said, Dow was up 191 or 6 tenths of a percent. NASDAQ came along for the ride today, up 1.51%, $170, 37.25 on the S&P, up just under a percent. The Russell came back to life a little. In fact, it was the biggest gainer, up 34.34 or 1.95%. And the transport's up 1.2%, 165 and change. Advanced declines on the NYSE were 3.5 to 1, 2.5 to 1 on the NASDAQ, which, is fine with me. The only thing that was somewhat lacking was the volume. It was just minorly lower than yesterday. The VIX came down a little today, 28.37, so it's kind of been locked in this area of not excessive on the upside, but not really on the downside either. So it's not really been much of an issue. What was amazing today were some of the stocks and how they rebounded. This morning, when I did my pre-opening call, Dick's Sporting Goods on poor guidance was trading below 59, 58.64, down 12.60. And after or during its conference call, they turned it around. So from down 17% at 58.64, Dick's traded all the way up to 81.30 and closed the day out at 78.14, up 690 or 9.7. So from a down 7 to up 10% day, that's a phenomenal turnaround. There were some others that weren't quite as fortunate. The NVDA numbers after the close were not overwhelmingly bad, but the guidance was weak. The stock had closed 169.74, up 821, traded all the way down to 152.20 before heading back to 158.40, down 334 or 2%. Snowflake, same situation. Not overwhelming numbers, but poor guidance. The stock had closed at 132.77, up 314. Let's recall that this stock, as lately as November of last year, just 6 months ago, was 405, and that wasn't even the high. Came back in after that 132.77 close, traded down to 110.35. Last I have is 113.34, down 16 or 12%. On the upside, Williams-Sonoma, WSM, not only did they beat, but their guidance was good. The stock had already closed at 114 and 98 cents, up 951, traded all the way up to 138.18. The last I have here is 129.80, up 24.38 or 23%. So while the normal consumer may not be in such great shape, the high-end consumer obviously is. Chart on the screen is the oil. Just drawing the trend lines here. We just keep on bouncing and bouncing and bouncing. Now we've been consolidating now, with the exception of the move that went back down to the 50-day and went through it and then popped it up and closed on the high and up on that day almost $3. We've been sitting in this tiny little range between about 108 and a half and 112, and I think that we're going to go through it. The high close in this recent little consolidation is back here on the 16th, and that was 111.82. We're currently trading 110.81, and when we close through that, I don't see anything holding it much below 120. Gold gave back what it gained yesterday. Bitcoin still languishing here at 29,500, down 300 one day, up 230. This is something that in the past has moved $1,500 or $2,000. So it's gotten very quiet. The dollar rebounded a little bit today. It was up substantially higher than where it closed. It closed at 102.08, 102.0770, up 20.7 cents. But during the day, I'll give you a little closer look here. During the day, it got right up to the 5-day moving average, all the way up at 102 and almost 102 and a half, 102.47, and then closed, as I said, 102.07. So lower end of the range, up a little bit, but nothing overwhelming. All right, everyone, tomorrow's Thursday. Thursday is claims day. It's also the second look at Q1 GDP. We'll see that. And I'll be back first thing in the morning.